What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, back in standard with a Gruul Smash list. We're playing around some big old beefy creatures here, led by Godzilla, King of Monsters, aka Zilortha, Strength Incarnate. Godzilla here is a 5-mana 7/3 trample. Lethal damage dealt to creatures you control is determined by their power rather than their toughness. So even though it's a 7/3, it's effectively a 7/7. And for 5 mana, it's pretty good deal. And of course, it is legendary, so I do want to see this often, but not necessarily all. Don't necessarily want to play like all 4 copies. So we got 3, so we should see it fairly regularly. So definitely emphasizing the higher power creatures, even if they are trading off in toughness, because Zilortha kind of cancels that out and turns that into a benefit. So top here we have 3 copies of Shock, since we are a little bit more of a late game, kind of get our bigger creatures down. So Shock gives some early interaction for smaller creatures, or just a way to kind of go face. Maybe your opponent is running Planeswalkers, kind of keep them in check. Spikefield Hazard, kind of the same thing here, a 1-mana kill spell potentially, or a land. 4 Kargan Intimidator, pretty solid creature on its own, and a 3/1 synergizes really well with our Zilortha. 3 copies here of Lotus Cobra. We do like the landfall trigger to potentially help us kind of ramp and play some stuff a little bit ahead of curve. But as a top deck, it's not really great, but it does sort of have that 2/1 synergy, so it becomes a 2/2. But for 2 mana, still more to here just for the landfall effect, obviously. 4 copies of Bonecrusher Giant, 4/3, becomes a 4/4 with our Zilortha, of course, and just a good creature and whatnot in general. Shatterskull Charger becomes a real threat here. 4/3 trample haste for 3 mana, or kick it for 5 mana, becomes a 5/4 trample haste. Works really well in general. Garruk's Harbinger, 3 mana for a 4/3 hexproof from black. Works great against the rogue and other kind of a single target black removal decks. We'll get to look at the top number of cards from our library equal to the amount of damage it dealt that turn, and reveal a creature or a Garruk Planeswalker from among them, put it into our hand, which we are running the Garruk. 2 copies here of Embereth Skyblazer. Not a card that's seen a ton of play, but it is a 4 mana 4/3, has flying on our turn, and we can pay 3 when it attacks to give our creatures +1/+0 until end of turn. So with all of our trample and whatnot, and our Zilortha, I feel like there's some pretty decent synergy here. Not a card to play with a whole lot, but did want to give it a chance to shine since this card has seen virtually no play since Throne of Eldraine. Of course, the 2 copies of Garruk. Don't need to run any more than that because we're kind of more in the mid-rangey territory, so we don't have a bunch of creatures to get out in the earlier turns necessarily. So sometimes your Garruk is a little bit exposed. But yeah, the trample works really well, especially with things like Questing Beasts, 2 copies. Also 2 copies of Elder Gargaroth, just fantastic value for each of these. Rest of the deck, we got 3 Primal Mights for some interaction here. To give our creatures +X until end of turn, fighting the creature, and then potentially trampling through for a bunch of damage. And then finally we have 2 Turntimber Symbiosis and 2 Shatterskull Smashing, just representing great utility here for some removal or digging for more creatures if we're kind of struggling for some more answers to get through. 5 Mountain, 5 Forest, 4 Pathway, 4 Temple Abandoned, 4 Fabled Passage. So we want to make sure we have all the fixing that we can. We have lots of double red, double green, and things like that. So just making sure we have what we need when we need it is very important. And things like Pathway will go a long way towards that, as will the Fabled Passage. Sideboard here, we have all 3 Chainweb Aracnirs, go with all 3 Dragonfires to help us out with the Rogue and other kind of aggro-y type situations. Phoenix also works great against the mill-type strategies. Sorcerous Spyglass for Ugin and things like that. A couple of Broken Wings give us some interaction for opposing flyers, Terror of the Peaks, whatnot, but also artifacts and enchantments. 2 Klothys is going to be our graveyard interaction. Can be very difficult for a lot of decks to deal with this card. And finally, Vivien for more grindier matchups. As a deck, we'll jump into some games. Alright, up against Kuzi, and gonna go first. Well, I guess we can keep this. We have removal and a couple of 2-drops, including a Cobra. I definitely need to fire that off, so we have some options here. Kind of see what we're up against to lead with Intimidator or a Cobra. Or I might just need to stomp something. We'll see what they do. Planes. Alright, just want to make sure we have each of our stuff down. Without any lands in hand, I think we'll just get these Intimidators down to represent some real threats. Boros, okay. So probably have a way to deal with our Intimidator, I would imagine. Could be Warriors, could be some kind of equipment deck, maybe. Charming Prince. Not what I was expecting, but... So, oh, Winota? Is that what you're doing, Winota? Well, we don't have good answers for that. Yeah, we can Cobra. Play a Forest. Make a red. Stomp. So, don't have great answers for Winota as far as instant speed interaction. But if we keep them off of creatures before Winota, then that's the thing. Primal Might for 1, 2, 3, 4. Swing 9. Well, let's keep them off of creatures, so if they do drop their Winota here, they're not going to get any value off of it. Not right away. Assuming that's what they're doing. I mean, Boros, Charming Prince. I don't imagine what else they're doing. I mean, Winota's still a very strong card. Unfortunately, we're a little bit light on instant speed interaction. Shatter the Sky. That's cute. Charming Prince, Shatter the Sky. So maybe it's not a Winota deck. I don't think I've ever seen a Winota deck that runs Shatter even out of the sideboard, so could just be more mid-rangey or controlling. Okay. Outlaw's Merriment seems plenty annoying. I guess we'll play this on red. Oh, decline. They'd rather tap out for our creatures here. Another Shadow Sky would be pretty devastating, but I think we need to go for it. If they're just going to make a creature. Of course, they get the one that deals 1 damage. Because why wouldn't they, right? 1 in 3 chance, but that's exactly what you get. And then they'll have another way to deal with our creatures, and they'll stabilize. No, just another Merriment. Bruh. That's GG. That is GG, bruh. Oh, found all 3 Primal Mights. Only needed 2 of them, but we got there. Whew. All right, Charming Prince, Shatter, Outlaws, Merriment. Definitely want the Broken Wings. Probably want the Vivien as well. Not sure any of those cards really do a whole lot for us. I feel like Harbinger is a little weak in this matchup. Shatterskull works great against the Shadow of the Sky shenanigans. Try like that. Such the Outlaws Merriment deck? Is that your whole? Is that the whole point? What you're trying to do over there? I definitely want some more lands. Apparently we get all the Primal Mights in this matchup. Going with all the Charming Princes. Like whatever we play here probably dies. At least the Intimidator gives us some good value if it does not. Potentially. We'll see what they have here. Heliod. Okay, you're a little ways from Devotion. Let's make sure it stays that way. Some more lands here. There's the Merriment. Just crash in for 7. Keep the life total nice and low. See if they get the no, lifelink this time. Which means they get to put a counter on something, assuming they attack. Lagana Band Storyteller. Cool story, bro. We're a little stuck on lands. Well, they played a creature, so I think we play a creature. Another lifelinker. We're stuck on 3 lands, so not feeling too good about our chances in this game. We need to, with the Heliod out, I think we need to keep them off of life gain. And they're going to get 1 trigger no matter what. And I got a big old 4/5 over there. We're starting to do some stuff, but we need some help here. You're a coward. So I'm going to pump it up. Crash in for 4. Okay, they give their Storyteller lifelink. I don't think we understand what just happened there. Are you serious? You get a Heliod out and then all your tokens are lifelink creatures. That's super sus. Alright, well they get Devotion, cool. We're stuck on lands, we're a little bit far behind, so we'll... Outlaw's Merriman's going to get them out of this with all the life gain and everything. That's pretty annoying, so we're just going to move on. I'd rather just have removal and just deal with their creatures. Stupid Heliod, lifelink, shenanigans. I mean, Outlaw's Merriman's a really good card if you're not able to deal with it. Triple Dragonfire and Planeswalkers. It's awkward, but we'll give it a go. I mean, they've had the Charming Prince every single time, so assuming they're going to have it here. See lands and creatures here. I don't think Spikefield does this much good, but I'd rather have the Dragonfire open for the inevitable Charming Prince. Or is this, they finally actually not have it here? Really? Castle Ardenvale. Of course you have Charming Prince. Let them choose first before we do anything. Yeah, life gain's pretty annoying. Go and run our Kargan. Play land. Haven't seen any 1 toughness creatures except for the Outlaw's Merriment tokens, but we're not going to wait around for that. Do need a green source. Pathway, Temple. Nope. Alright, we'll crash in for 4. Thanks to the life gain, they're just down to 19. Shadow the Sky here, kill our Intimidators, then follow up with Outlaw's Merriment. Be a pretty good play, but we'll see what they do. Let's just go Outlaw's Merriment here. Yep, there you go for it. No return, or not return nature, Broken Wings. That sucks. Well, we got to crash in for quite a bit of damage. We got 2/1 lifelinker, of course. Shadow the Sky, I would assume. That's a pretty quick attack. Yep. Just want a Garruk here, get a 3/3 down. We get a 3/1. Find another untapped land. We can Shatterskull and Dragonfire. Looking at our Garruk here. Keep Garruk around. Keep their board empty. It's pretty looking like a pretty rough matchup for us. I mean, we're also been screwed on lands a little bit. But I mean, running just the 24. Without the enchantment 8, this Merriment is very, very difficult to deal with. And of course, Shadow Sky works well with Merriment because you don't care, you're just going to keep pumping out tokens every turn. Skyclave, a Delk Tutor just to get another Outlaw's Merriment. Yeah. Alright, gotta put him down to 2. We have another Shatterskull Charger in hand. They've got life gains that are effectively at 4 here. Hopefully they just Outlaw's Merriment, and I think we can win this game. We have the option to, well, we have 2 red, so we can't Shatterskull and Dragonfire. Unless we top deck a untapped red source. But we'll see what they do. So they're effectively, you have to figure they're effectively at 4 here. Seem to be stuck on 4 lands. They haven't played one. I figured they would have fired one off right away. Okay, Shadow of the Sky incoming. Embercleave. With 1 mana open. They gain up to 8. Oh man. Outlaw's Merriment, so much value. Of course, we do not find our enchantment 8, but they just went for the Embercleave there. I think we had them either way, as long as they didn't have a way to deal with our Shatterskull Charger. Super close. Alright, up against Busta Slayer. Or not. It's a pretty sweet background. Do enjoy this lava one. Little crystals. As much as Arena prioritizes cosmetics and getting people to just spend money on the aesthetics of the game, you think they would maybe implement something like that. You know, your opponent would just see whatever random background it is, and then you would get whatever background that you paid for. You know, like you have your avatar you paid for from the store, and you can just get your background. And you just choose that, and you'd be the one who would see that, not your opponent necessarily. Well, play the Intimidator here, watch it die to a Heartless Act. No. Mono black. Still haven't played anything. Just Underworld Dreams. Oh, Heraldic Banner. Okay. Crash in for 4. Opponent has plenty of mana there. Thanks to the banner, they should be potentially up to 5 if they find a land here. I'd like to get this Skyblazer down, but we'll see what they do. Might have to fire these off. Oath Sworn Knight is a 5/4. We'll make it a coward, and then pump these guys up. Okay, putting them down to 8 seems pretty good. I want to shock them on their end step. I can feel like maybe they have more of a chance. Maybe they'll do something different here if they think they're at 8 instead of 6. Oathsworn Knight has to attack, so there's that. Minions return. Assuming they have a kill spell here, so we're going to shock our own Intimidator. Cool. So we can stomp and hit for 4 more. We'll just play the Bonecrusher Giant here. It's probably better. Alright, what do you got, mono black? Oathsworn Knight. Maybe they didn't have removal. Maybe we should have just let them resolve their enchantment. They take 2 from the Bonecrusher trigger, which is pretty nice. I don't know why they keep flashing in these standard bearers. So they have to attack with Oathsworn Knight. They need a 1-mana kill spell. I don't think there's anything in there. Don't think there's anything they can do. You got a coward over there. Got some life gain. I'll crash for 4. Just to be sure. Okay. Pretty interesting. So Oathsworn is a 4/4 naturally. Standard bearer. Do we see anything else? Just removal. Nothing graveyard. I'm not sure what else they have, but Dragonfire is tempting here, but Cobra might just be better for us so we can kind of ramp into stuff. Well, if they just kill it, since they're in mono black, they probably have lots of good removal, so we'll just bring in our removal, I guess. So Vivien might be worth bringing in over Zilortha. Typically that's the cut. Just go from 3 Zilortha to 2 since it is legendary. So we temple and then bolt in for Intimidator or stomp something potentially. Just looking for lands probably with this hand. I'll take that. Gargaroth should be pretty good if we can get them to use up their removal ahead of time. Giant Skewer. There's a card that doesn't see much play. Kargan Intimidator, come on down. I should have been surprised at how much value we've gotten at this, even though we don't really have warriors in our deck. Crystalline Giant is going to get Menace. Okay, so they're out of... I guess we pay. I'll become a coward. Could also just swing in here. See if they want to trade. But we'll keep our creatures alive since we know they have removal. Probably just Questing Beast here. Radiant Fountain. So that makes some sense in a mono black list. Revenge is super annoying. Like, super annoying. I mean, we're swinging in for a lot. So people love Revenger Ravens, man. Against certain decks, it's obviously really good. We don't like seeing it here, but if they have removal, this definitely can be a quick game 2 on to game 3. As long as I don't get lifelink, I think we're okay. So 2 mana's open. We're drawing plenty of lands here, so we'll fire off this Fabled Passage, kind of lower those odds just a little bit. Crash in for 7. Cool. You're so cool with your Revenge of Ravens. If they kill a Gargaroth here, then we're probably dead, but we'll see. Let's see what they got. They put us down to 3, and then Revenge of Ravens potentially kills us. And they killed our Intimidator? Okay. They're flying. Really? Oh, they have Vigilance, yeah. We're gonna gain 3. See what they got here. Timberite cannot block the Quest Beast. They can't kill it. I'm going to trample through for 2. Get rid of Timberite. Opponent down to 3. Opponent down to 1. Okay. Lockthwain Paladin. Okay, trample, no lifelink on the Crystalline Giant. Perfect. But they attack here, put us down to 1, and the Revenge of Ravens kills us. So we have to find something here. Alright, we got that off the board. Just need a Stomp or a Shock or even a Spikefield Hazard. Pretty annoying situation to be in. Revenge of Raven, not a fun card to play against, that's for sure. And go equipping. Sure, we're blocking, we have to, no matter what. So this has to deal damage to a creature, get a food token. Then they can gain 3 life. Oh my goodness, are you serious, dude? Why are you slow playing it, dude? Come on. Super annoying there. Shatterskull felt pretty medium. Let's go Klothys. That life gain could come in pretty handy. Now Broken Wings, definitely want that as well. We still have our Garruk. Let's take Garruk out. So now we have the Broken Wings to deal with the Revenge, potentially, hopefully. We had a fair number of outs there, we just could not find them. Klothys is decent, but without anything in the graveyard, that's going to be pretty medium here these first couple of turns. Scorching Dragonfire does exile, so still don't get any value off of that. But probably still worth keeping. No, still mad about the Revenger Ravens, man. We could have won that game easily without that stupid card. I don't see it nearly as often as I used to. It seems like you see that all the time. We just want to go dig into something else. And you're playing Mono Black and Traveler's Amulet. Why do people do weird stuff like that? I don't know. Maybe you do that. I don't get it. Is there some artifact synergy? Oh God, Sanctum. That card's super annoying as well. Cool. Nothing in the graveyard still, so yeah, I think we'll just fire this off. Hold open the Stomp. So mono black annoying cards. Let's not go what Amulet is there for. We got the Dragonfire. Now we got Stomp plus Klothys next turn. Assuming they have like Underworld Dreams or something to deal with our Questing Beast, but we'll see. Murderous Rider. Again, with these 3 toughness creatures, making our Bonecrusher Giants not as good. You got 1 man open. Why are you reading Murderous Rider, dude? You can't play it. There you go. Oh, there's a Godzilla. Alright, Klothys. Stop this, start filling out the yard, give us some Klothys targets. Kinda want a Godzilla here, but maybe we need to deal with this Murderous Rider first. Tournament grounds. Man. Sanctum, Traveler's Amulet, Fabled Passage, Murderous Rider. What? Crystalline Giant. Tournament grounds. Revenge of Ravens. Okay, buddy. You got it. We just run out our Godzilla. Hope for the best. Okay, Murderous Rider. And Timuret. Okay. Here we go. Alright, so we got the Trample here, and they have 4 power. The Murderous Rider is lifelink, which is super annoying, but I think we just attack first and then let them go to blocks, and then we can Shatterskull Smashing to potentially finish off any creatures. If they don't block, we just Bonecrusher Giant. They're really milking their priority over there. Yeah, you got a 3/3 artifact vehicle, dude. Cool. I got a 7/7 trample. Why would you? Why wouldn't you want 5 toughness against a trample threat? Just for an extra power? Do you have something you can play with Tournament Grounds here? It only deals with knights and equipments. And don't even block, except for Murder Strider. Okay. No idea what's going on here. Cool, you gotta put it in your library. Good for you. We'll just play the Spikefield here. And they are reading their equipment hardcore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if top deck a land, we can Shatterskull Smashing for max value. So we have two things we can eat up from our yard to start getting some value. Bell of the Brawl. Where are all these creatures coming from? So we're looking at 6. So we have to get a land here to get value? Well, no, because the Bell of the Brawl dies and then Timrat loses Devotion. It's just a 3/3 first strike, trample, haste. Cool. Yeah, you crewed your thing. Dude. It's already crewed. Okay, we'll kill your chariot here. We do have a mana open for Timrat, which is pretty annoying. Kind of negates some of our Klothys value. But we're going to Shatterskull and wipe their board next turn. They could respond by eating that up. Or they can target our graveyard. They choose to do nothing. Well, we have 7 mana to Turntimber Symbiosis, but I think I'd rather just wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two and 3. Yep. Looks weird on paper, but the Timrat will lose Devotion and it will die as well. They do have mana open to activate the Timrat in response here. And they gain what? 1 life? No, we have no creatures, so gain 0 life. They just eat our graveyard, take away our Klothys value. So with this Turntimber next turn, I feel like we're in pretty good shape, but obviously, they can still top deck something nasty. Revenge of Ravens, some removal. Just one of those people that just starts roping when things don't go their way. You're an unranked. You just concede if you're not having fun or you don't like the matchup anymore. Like, no reason to waste your time as well as mine. Finally down to 1. Pass. They find some kind of a board clear here. And we'll just Symbiosis. Hopefully get some Devotion, get our Klothys online as an actual threat. Oh, we found another one. Sweet. Yeah, we'll get rid of Timrat. Boom, that's lethal right there, because they only gained the 1 from Sanctum, because they're just the 1 shrine. Alright, so pretty interesting mono black list. Like they were kind of trying to do knights and whatever. I don't know. Yeah, the revenge made things pretty difficult for us, but we got there in game 3. Zilortha put in some serious work for us. So yeah, Godzilla, not a card that's seen a ton of play, even since Ikoria came out, really. But especially now with Zendikar and everything like that, it seems like a lot of these cards are just kind of overlooked. People are still sticking with the kind of the tried and true, like the Scoot Swarm, Mutate, annoying stuff. But yeah, Godzilla is a really fun card to play around with. Definitely has some nice value. Kind of insane that this 5 mana 7/7 trample is just kind of a forgotten card. Like power creep is just kind of insane. But we have some nice synergy. Lots of creatures, in especially in Gruul colors, that have higher power than toughness that work really well with our Zilortha on board here, and then give us some good removal. Things like Primal Might and Trample work extremely well together. Embereth Skyblazer is kind of a late addition because it's kind of a card that hasn't really seen a whole lot of play. I mean, with the activated ability here, it seems like it's more designed towards like actual commander play. You know, we have multiple opponents, but you know, a 4-mana 4/3 flyer that becomes basically a 4/4 flyer with Zilortha is not bad. And then you can pump the team up +1/+0, especially for your creatures that already have trample, and just having a potentially flyer gives us kind of a different look. And yeah, going to play things like Harbinger, Shatterskull Charger, Bonecrusher Giant into an actual 4/4 instead of a 4/3. Intimidator becomes a 3/3, so lots of nice synergy here in the later stages of the game as well. Then it's always fun playing with Garruk and things like that. Gargaroth and Quest Beasts don't really get any additional value off Zilortha, but they're already just 4/4s and 6/6s already, so they don't really need any help. I mean, these are already super strong cards. You know, in the sideboard we got to be we're very happy with the sideboard here with the Aracnir, Phoenix package for the mill type strategies. Klothys can also come in against the rogue decks as well to just kind of keep the graveyards in check on both sides potentially. Spyglass, Ugin is still just such a huge problem, so annoying. It gives you, you know, in Gruul colors, you don't have many good answers for it other than trying to kill your opponent before they get there, but sometimes it's kind of hard when your opponent's running all kinds of removal and ramp and stuff like that, so Spyglass kind of gives you a way to deal with that. And I do like the Broken Wings over Return to Nature in this particular list, since we're kind of a little bit light on removal. Gives us some way to deal with flyers, you know, tear to the peaks, and that sort of thing. And Klothys just really all-star. Definitely like this one better than like a Scavenging Ooze or something like that. Since we're kind of mana hungry as it is, I don't necessarily want to have like a Scavenging Ooze that we're kind of trying to sink mana into, because we're more mid-rangey, so trying to actually cast our spells on curve instead of trying to hold mana open to, you know, ooze stuff. Can be a little bit awkward, so Klothys just giving that incremental value I think is much better in this particular build, but maybe I could be wrong. But Klothys, either way, definitely hard for a lot of decks to deal with. And then Vivien, she's always a sweet card, since we're pretty creature heavy. It's just nice grindy value in a lot of matchups. So yeah, Gruul monsters, give it a try. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, make sure you jank with us.